Hey, been been a little while since I've done the making of video. I think it's been like 4-ish months. I think. God damn, I've been doing this for a while. I just kind of wanted to give you guys like an idea of my workflow. So, and thank you all for the support. So I found this Sonic rig and Shadow rig actually. They were both from the same source. It was a YouTube video, and I believe it was called the Deluxe Rigs. And if you hear any noise in the background, I'm sorry, but yeah, these rigs. It took me. You'll see me fidgeting around with them for a little bit. It's the first 30 seconds. I had to figure out what I was doing with these things because they are complicated. After I fidgeted around with this thing, you can see that I'm starting to pose them, and there were still parts that I had to fidget around with. For example, I was testing out the mouth rig, which I guess I'll get to that. The first thing I always do in my videos is lip sync, whether it be FNAF videos where I just have to move their jaw up and down, or videos like these where they're more complex lip movements, more humany lip movements. This is always the first step because, like, if you have to lip sync something while it's moving, it's a lot harder. So, and this is the most complex part of the process. So you really gotta get this right, and you can't really do that when everything's working against you. I'm sure there's a way you could prevent that, but that's just how I do it. So, and I've gotten pretty used to it, so it's been pretty hard to go away from that. So I ended up going on call for a little bit with actually my editor and sort of my project manager. He kind of just gives me the approval as to is this okay? Like, is this good? So you'll see that it's gonna be a little bit frozen for a little bit, but I can cut that out with the power of editing. So now we are back to actually posing the damn thing, and now so I was done with the lip sync. I forgot to hit record earlier, but now we are working on the movements. I don't really have a workflow when it comes to what I do first with my movements. Typically, I do the torso, and then I do the upper body, and then I do the arms, and then the head. Uh, and I guess in this case, lastly, the spikes. But after after that, I ended up moving on to Shadow, which for some reason I took light years. That's not even a time measurement tool. I took years to freaking animate his lip sync for some reason. I just didn't want to do it. I animated his eyes first, and I don't normally do that, so that's a little bit weird. I ended up not finding a Chaos Emerald model that I really liked, so I ended up just making my own. And I wanted it, now that I think about it, I could have made it like the fourth Chaos Emerald in reference to that one really, really shitty Shadow the Hedgehog voice line. You know the one I'm talking about, Sonic fans. Come on. Come on. I actually use, so the deluxe rigs have a supersonic tool, which does two things. It gives them the supersonic textures, but it also, if you move it up and down, like if you move the lever up or down, the spikes go up. So I ended up doing that for when Sonic is freaking befuddled here. So then the reason why Sonic is, why Sonic is like jittery for a second, it's because of an animation error that I struggled with fixing. So yeah. And then you get to Shadow, which is undeniably the worst part of this animation. Just this single character. I had a lot more fun animating Sonic, and then I started animating Shadow, and for some reason, the animation life got sucked out of me. Maybe I won't finish that joke. But this was what I was talking about. I ended up using I ended up doing the lip sync lastly, which really hurt because I had to parent the mouth to the camera, which made it a little bit annoying. Boy, this was not a good workflow video, was it? I just kind of told you guys what I did. like what I did here. This was totally unnecessary, but I guess I just wanted to not let this OBS file go to waste. So I just wanted to thank you guys. I also wanted an excuse to thank you guys for almost 600 subscribers, and um I guess I should start like actually talking about this now publicly on my channel instead of going into the comment section of whoever I'm interested in doing this with. I'm doing sort of like a freelance kind of deal where um I just ended up, what's it called? I ended up doing freelance work for a little bit. So I ended up just going in the comments, asking them for their Discord info, and then they could um what's it called? And then they could ask me for help on projects like video games and just learning how to use Blender and 3D animation in general. So that's what that's what I've been doing for a little bit. That's how I met some of the guys I've worked with. That's how I met Skasand. That's how I met my editor. I guess I'll explain both of those two. Skasand was he was the main project manager of a FNAF fan game I made with him, which I guess it was more so I helped him with it than I made it with him. I made the assets for him, so yeah, I guess. We tried to make it the most ambitious Scratch game we could, but we ended up feeling sort of complete with it. We're promising that more nights are coming. I think he's almost done with night 6 through 8, and then after that will be an extra night that I'm not gonna talk to you about. So that's kind of what I've been doing. And then Bendo, or my editor is Bendo, and he's just kind of another guy that I first met when I saw a FNAF Security Breach trailer recreation that he made. I don't think he has a file anymore, but and he deleted it off YouTube because I helped him animate it. So it was kind of unnecessary to keep the old one on. So he ended up I ended up helping him with learning how to animate and helping him with parts that he couldn't animate, such as the elevator scene. And that's kind of what I've been doing, but what I'm really trying to say here is that if you look into my bio, there should be a link to my Discord username, which you can send friend requests for um, wanting help with Blender, 3D animation, or um, or if you need a project, or not a project, if you need a 3D animator on a project. Not a 3D modeler though, I am not good at 3D modeling. So yeah, see ya I guess.